I've been drawing for as long as I can remember, but my love for art really grew after I started watching Fairy Tale when I was around 11 years old. And not just that, I got my first iPhone when I was around 11, 12 as well. And I had also been basically obsessed, like really, really obsessed with photography and just documenting my life and interests, There was a whole era going on, and I was a Tumblr girl, so I was really, really into the arts from a really young age. I think my love for art seemed really it stemmed really from my need to feel more permanent in this world, less alone, and also to feel heard and seen, even if I was the only one who saw my drawings. What made me happy was that this was a hobby. I got no physical or external validation for my art, and so that gave me the freedom to grow how I wanted to without the fear of judgment or the idea that I might disappoint anyone by my next work, especially if I feel like it's not good enough. So as my own internal critic as well, seeing the way other people drew versus my style, I felt inadequate in my craft, but I still had hope for improvement and the drive to get better. I feel like even though this was the road in which encouraged me to take my art more seriously, to pursue it academically, it contributes to the way in which I view my art even to this day. My internal critic always wants me to do better and not just make art for the sake of making art, which is how I started, believe it or not. And the idea that someone can create their own selective universes or characters with backstories, meaningful messages, and turn it into manga, like in Fairy Tale, then into anime, really inspired me into realizing that the joy of creation can create endless possibilities and holds meaning even if not everyone really agreed with it or thought it was good enough. At the time, I remember that Fairy Tale was considered a One Piece copycat, or was considered inadequate to the anime industry, and personally I didn't care because I enjoyed watching it, even though that age I was aware of the toxic environment that was the Western anime industry, but to be honest, the anime industry in general. Now, why is this important to the video? Well, I've been stuck in art block for a really long time now. At first, I tried to avoid it and reject it, but the more I did, the more dissatisfied I was with my work, and therefore this led to a decrease in quality physically in my work. One thing I failed to mention was that in my A-levels, I decided to take the arts academically. This being my first time, I unfortunately also had the responsibility of doing 2 years in one because of some unexpected circumstances and because I had joined the school close to the end of the year, giving me only 2 months to prepare for my first year if I wanted to, but I was already aware of the pressure that was wearing heavy on my shoulders, and reluctantly, I agreed to the decision of doing this, taking on 1 year and doing 2 years in one. Now, the combination of having such immense pressure, being my first time participating in art academically, I felt as though I had no idea what I was doing. I felt inadequate consistently. I would seek the guidance of my peers and my art teacher for help, but to add to that, this was a new school. I struggled to open up to my art teacher, felt bullied by someone in the administration, and I'm also autistic. So all this pressure and changes to my routine, moving to a new country, being away from my family as well, I felt really foreign. I just felt like I didn't belong and that I was not taken seriously because of my condition and also many other factors, especially in my art class. This left me in a position in which I had to teach myself basically how to complete an art course academically on my own. I ended up having to pull out of doing my second year of my A-level art course and only did year one, my first year, which is AS. And this decision was also made 2 months before my art exams. And because of this, I also had to completely scrap all my work. It was exhausting. I was exhausted, and I think I can track my art block seeping in around August of that year. And still I persevered, completed my work with multiple mental breakdowns and depressive episodes, despite all of that hard work, I still didn't feel adequate, and now it was also proven on paper that I was not good enough according to an elitist exam board called Cambridge International. Last year I tried that again, but went through so much and made the same mistake of adding too much on my plate, not just academically, but physically and emotionally. I underestimated the amount of support I really needed as me, but also as an autistic person, and still didn't do as well as I thought I would. And I think that was it. That was my last straw. I haven't been able to draw without bawling my eyes out or like cry like since I left South Africa. Let alone do anything that's like physically art related, such as like painting and like sketching and stuff like that. I'm still writing and putting my creative outlets elsewhere, but my love for art is still very much here. Hi guys, hello. This is a journey that we've gone to, and this is where I am now. I still can't like draw. I tried to sketch like a picture of Angela Davis, and like literally my eyes started watering up from frustration. I know that this is indicative of a larger issue. It's stemming from something much larger than just art block. It's probably like the combination of all the things that I've gone through within the past 2 years, plus a lot of neglect emotionally, like in a lot of aspects that I don't even want to get to right now. I just kind of wanted to like just put this out there to show that like creators have it really hard. He needs to want to create, whereas like with stuff like doing schoolwork, honestly, that's me with everything. Like maybe it's because I'm an artist, but if my heart isn't in something, I don't do as well as I think I should. And other stuff, it's not that visible because it's more of like a formulated type of thing. With art, you're left with that creative freedom, so you can tell like when stuff is incoherent, when thoughts aren't incoherent. And like you can also tell because like with a lot of art institutions, they want you to do a lot of research as well. Like it's very, very elitist. They want you to use certain types of languages. They want you to not subscribe to certain ideals as well. And if you do, to not make it really, really personified as well. Like it's very, very weird. And I didn't really get it the first time I did art for like A-levels. Like I didn't get it. You know, I would draw, like I was really good at drawing, but I just didn't know how to formulate that and to put coherent pieces of paintings together. And I feel like that's something my art teacher should have really helped me with, but she was focused on other students. Like to them, like I feel like I wasn't good enough, like when it came to the work I produced in art, so they didn't focus on me, which is like the complete opposite of what you're supposed to do. Like if your student is struggling, you're literally supposed to help them. Like you're supposed to focus on them more. But for me, the complete opposite happened, like to the point where she would help other students paint, and like I wouldn't even have like an idea of what to do and stuff like that. And like there'd be instances where I would try to work, like I would literally go outside of my class, because this was like a weird like small school. I'd go outside of class to try and get inspiration and stuff like that. I did everything I could. Honestly, I did everything I could. And I feel like with a lot of people, because of the way they perceived me, I looked like I held it all together. I either looked like I held it all together, or I looked like I wasn't doing anything at all. In reality, I was having multiple breakdowns. I was trying to figure out what I was even doing. I would like get back in my room like at boarding and be like, what the hell is even going on? Like every time we had like a study period, I would literally like sit there for 2 hours sometimes, just trying to like I would split up, like it was every day of the week, so I'd split it up and like try to focus in art as well, like throughout the year, so that I knew that I had like my schedule together. And like sometimes I just couldn't, like I literally just couldn't. It's so weird. Like I think I was also going through some form of autistic burnout as well while that was happening, and it was just not really good. And I was just experiencing a lot and going through a lot, and that also led to me being really, really severely depressed. So I had to focus more on looking after myself and like not feeling suicidal, and like not putting myself or any other people in danger, or like not ruining relationships, not having meltdowns or like shouting at people and stuff like that. I had to put a lot of effort into managing myself and my emotions and masking to actually appear like a normal human being who had stuff together. And I feel like I put so much effort into that I didn't give myself the time to breathe, the time to like actually like let myself just be, like to cry it all out and just like relax and like not try to be academic weapon. And you know, like I wish I could go back and like just tell myself that like it's okay, like you're trying your best. Because back then I think the thing that hurt me the most, or that got to me the most, was that I would just blame myself, even though there was multiple factors that were completely out of my control. I just would blame myself for not having that control, blame myself for not understanding why this would happen and why I wouldn't have thought of this, why I didn't plan for it earlier and stuff like that. And I feel like it's a big thing that a lot of autistic or non-neurotypical people do, but not even just that, just a lot of students in high school as well. Like a lot of stuff goes on and we're expected to just have so much weight and so much pressure on us. And then like when those expectations aren't met, not only do we feel like we're disappointing our parents, but most of all, it's like you're disappointing yourself, because outside of everyone, you know what you're capable of more than anyone else. And, you know, sometimes you don't, but you try to have the best, like, regards for yourself, and, like, try to see that you can do the best. And when you don't meet that quota, you kind of feel like a failure, because this is the society we've been raised in, to feel like the only thing that matters and that counts is what we produce, but not actually like our character or who we are as people. Last year particularly, I tried to put a balance of like allowing myself time to just be as a human being, to actually cultivate who I am, to learn about myself as well, and also to like put in work. But of course, like I also went through a lot that I also don't want to get into like on camera, but that also contributed to me not doing as well. And it was something that was also completely out of my control. Like I tried everything in my power to also do as much as I could. And you know, like it's really tough when, especially as an autistic Black woman, you lack that support, you lack that understanding, you lack the care, you lack people to hear you, to even see that you're struggling. And like because of that, you know, you just think you can do anything. And you know, to some regard you can, like you can do absolutely everything. Like I believe you have the power, but to back that up, support is very much needed. And for me, I was still in South Africa. I was in a completely different country. A lot of factors came to play that like literally as soon as I finished my art exam, I just couldn't. And halfway through doing my art, like I just decided that like, okay, I can tell that I literally physically, like it hurts to draw. Like it literally feels like it's hurting. I just decided to also like focus on photography as well. So I think that helped. Like I know how to adapt my creative outlets, but it's gotten to that point where like, and it's really, really sad, like for me, because I love drawing, I love painting. Like I still have that internal critic in me that like feels like a failure, even though I'm just healing. You know, I know that over time it's gonna get easier and I'm gonna feel better, and I'm not gonna have as much art block, and then I'm gonna finally be able to do what I want to do. Like, you know, if my life balances out, I balance out as well internally, and then therefore my work will get better. But at the same time, I can't have such high expectations of my work and what I can do if my life is just happening and like things are just happening outside of my control. The only thing I can do is control what's already there, and I think that's why I create this YouTube channel. You know, I recently watched a YouTube video of this creator. I will put her YouTube down in the description if you guys want to check out the video. I'll put the video down in the description, where she talks about why she makes videos for people who, when she knows no one's watching, or like she makes videos for herself essentially. And like, yeah, that's literally how I am, and like also how I started out. You know, it was for me and my friends essentially, but like not really for my friends, it was for me. I just like documenting my thoughts. I like talking out loud and like documenting that, because I want to, like the same thing with my art, I want to have physical evidence of my existence. You know, even if the YouTube servers are to go down, you know, I'm hoping that they don't, but you know, like we probably gonna have access to this in the next 100 years. I want to show my kids this. Like I just feel like I want to put some form of something out there. That's why I create art as well. Like I just want to put my being into physical existence, so that I have something tangible to leave behind for humans that are coming, and like for me as well, so I can look back at it and see how great of a human being I was, you know. And yeah, that's really it. It's Venus Day today. It's Friday, and you know, usually I spend the day like taking a bath and like just thinking about how really, really pretty I am, and like trying to like see how far I've come, and stuff like that. And I thought it would be a really good time for me to discuss my art block and like the challenges I've been going through as a creative as well, and show you guys me cleaning, because that's also a part of what I do during Venus Day. Like I feel beautiful when my space is beautiful. When my external reality is clear and beautiful, it feels like my mind is clear and beautiful within. And then like I can focus on my body and stuff like that. Like, you know, in my spirituality, I try to like make it as normal, not normal, but like for me, spirituality and like stuff like that is just like the way that I live my life, you know, like it's not really a religion, it's just the way that I live my life and like the beliefs that comes with that. And, you know, Friday is considered Venus Day, and I also just want to assert a specific day where I get to appreciate myself. So it just so happens to be that I can do that on Fridays, because that's what Venus is, like what it symbolizes, you know. And yeah, like I just hope that I can get to a point where I can use my like creativity again, because it's not just impacting me like in the sense of like drawing, like even with my YouTube, like I've been trying to create a video for Palestine, for just the conflicts going on in the world in general, and like I just feel like I'm experiencing academic burnout, like, and it makes no sense. Like I've literally been schooling myself last year, and I haven't been doing that much school here as well. I've just been like studying the Bible. I've been studying the Bible and like reading, and like I just don't understand, and I feel like maybe it's just like my burnout in general. And like it just feels really unfair, because I know there's people who are like me that are in Palestine as well, that are in Congo and stuff like that. They don't have the luxuries that I have, you know. So I've been trying to like get something out there, you know, and it's really hard for me to put in video form, because I also get super emotional when it comes to these topics, because I'm super passionate about it. And I also struggle with showing my emotions online, and it's just a lot. But I will get to that, because I'm not just doing it for me, essentially. I'm doing it for those people. I just want to show some form of solidarity that isn't just an Instagram story or a post or a repost on TikTok. Like, you know, like spreading the word is good, but I feel like I want to do more. Like me personally, I want to do more. And, you know, I feel like a part of me talking about that now is so that I feel more encouraged to do it, and like, you know, feel more adequate, feel more like I have the experience, like I can do it, you know. Like even though I struggle with feeling just good enough, like in every sense, and I know that's bad as someone who preaches spirituality and girly pop and stuff like that. I know it's so hard to believe, but yes, I really struggle with feeling good enough in every aspect of my life, and it's something that I'm working through. And, you know, hopefully like you guys get to, oh my god, what? With the age that we're in, of just productivity and fast pace, it's nice to just like sit down and watch a YouTube video, or just listen to it like a podcast. You guys can just listen to me like a podcast, and just like experience life with me, like have a conversation. This is what I want my channel to be, just like little conversations. And you can even speak back to me. I do that all the time, like when I'm watching podcasts, I'm like, yep, yeah, I get you. And sometimes I even pause it and like I even speak out loud. So like feel free to do whatever you want to do with my channel, and because I want this to be a safe space for they just feel accepted. And I feel like I'm really getting to that road, because in order for me to get there, I need to be able to create a safe space for myself as well. And I feel like I've gotten there. I'm really proud of where I am with my YouTube channel and the way that I talk in my videos now, and I'm just really excited for where this is gonna go. So I hope you guys have a beautiful night. Apparently there might be not a meteor shower, there might be northern lights in England tonight, which is crazy. I don't know if I should believe that or not. I saw it on TikTok. I don't know, but apparently if you look north, anywhere in the UK, when it's dark, you'll be able to see some northern lights. So let me know if you guys see that in the comments, and I love you guys. Okay, bye-bye. Public service announcement. You might not see it tonight. You might see it. Just you might see it. Apparently there's a solar storm, so keep your eyes peeled for the sky, because apparently it's going to be really pretty and magical, and I just love that. I love that. I love the sky. Anyways, bye-bye.